This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The man accused of dousing his fiancée with accelerant and allegedly lighting her on fire has appeared in Hobart's Supreme Court today. Matthew John Davey previously pleaded not guilty to the charge of causing grievous bodily harm and assault.
This is the scene of an incident in April that shocked the nation. Police allege 34-year-old Chigwell man Matthew John Davey doused his fiancée, 20-year-old Nicole Evans, with accelerant and set her on fire at this Chigwell property. Mr Davey today appeared for the first time in the Supreme Court via video link before Justice Michael Brett. He's already pleaded not guilty in the Magistrates Court. A statement from Tasmania Police this afternoon says the young woman is lapsing in and out of consciousness and remains in hospital in Melbourne. She is being treated for full-thickness burns to 65% of her body and still cannot communicate or receive visitors. Her family have requested privacy until they can release a statement. Matthew Davey has been remanded in custody and will re-appear in court on the 5th of July. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
The Health Minister is again under fire amid allegations an elderly woman was sent home from hospital at midnight due to a lack of beds. But the Tasmanian Health Service has rejected the claims, saying beds were available, but the patient didn't require admission.
Adrian Charlesworth says his 78-year-old mum went to the Mersey Hospital 4 times in a fortnight, suffering debilitating pain. But last Thursday night, as the clock approached midnight, she was released following a medical assessment and sent home in a taxi.
My mother was told that that they needed the bed. Simple humanity would have said this lady's too old and frail to throw out into the middle of a winter's night, 11:30, quarter to 12.
Labor today raising the allegations in State Parliament, saying it's symptomatic of a health system in crisis. Beck White says the situation could have been far worse if it wasn't for the help of a taxi driver who assisted her inside.
They knew this lady didn't have a key to get in her home. They knew when they rang that nobody answered because her husband has a hearing aid and he was asleep and he didn't take the call.
I take seriously any member of the public's concern that they haven't received best quality treatment and care in any of our hospitals or health sites.
The Tasmanian Health Service today issuing a statement challenging Labor and Mr Charlesworth's version of events. Director of Operations North and North West's Eric Daniels says the use of taxis is commonplace for people who are unable to be collected, and the patient appeared happy to be going home. The patient was also told by staff that if she had difficulties accessing her residence, she could return using the taxi voucher provided.
She's a 78-year-old lady. It's 11:30 at night. That's not appropriate.
The government has always accepted that we need to do more to meet patient demand. That's why we've put additional beds in the budget.
Andrew McCarthy, Southern Cross News.
Former Labor MP David O'Byrne is attempting a political comeback at the next state election. Mr O'Byrne is seeking pre-selection in Franklin, a seat he held for 4 years before losing it in the 2014 Liberal landslide. A unionist and minister in Lara Gidding's cabinet, Mr O'Byrne says the former Premier's impending political departure influenced his decision to run again.
A number of people did come to me and say that they wanted an experienced hand, someone who represented the electorate before, to stand for the Labor Party. And might I say, I want to wish Lara Giddings all the very best in the next chapter of her life.
He's not a star candidate, he never has been, and failed to get himself elected last time. So currently, he's a failure.
Meanwhile, it's understood former radio host Tim Cox is set to be confirmed as a candidate on Labor's Denison ticket. Police are searching for a man who threatened an attendant with a gun and demanded cash at a Hobart bottle shop last night. The offender, who was wearing a balaclava, is said to have acted in an extremely aggressive manner and fled on foot across the Brooker Highway.
A terrifying ordeal for staff at the Brooker Inn bottle shop in Lutana. At around 8 o'clock last night, a man wearing a hoodie and a balaclava entered the store, threatening the young attendant with a firearm, forcing him to hand over money from the tills.
can say that he was not physically injured. However, he's been through quite an ordeal. I am aware that counselling has been provided to him, but certainly the mental scars of this will remain with this young lad for quite some time.
The offender fled the scene on foot, crossing the Brooker Highway in front of oncoming cars and causing motorists to actively avoid him. The offender, captured in this picture, is described as about 170 centimetres tall and of medium to solid build. Police say this incident is particularly concerning as the offender was extremely aggressive.
In the fact that he actually damaged some bottles in the bottle shop and actually pointed the firearm at the young shop attendant's head, causing him quite a deal of alarm, as you'd expect.
Police are still searching for the offender and are urging the public to contact Crime Stoppers with any information.
Someone out there knows exactly who has done this crime, and we like to think they're better than the person that did that crime. Please call us.
Meanwhile, a 15 and a 16-year-old have been charged with stealing from Zap fitness centres last night. The young men from New Norfolk entered the businesses in North Hobart, Claremont, Bridgewater, Glenorchy and New Norfolk. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A controversial beachside development is facing its fate, with Kingborough Council voting on the project tonight. It includes a new home for the Kingston Beach Surf Lifesaving Club, as well as club rooms and a restaurant. But it's drawn the ire of several residents in the area.
This humble and ageing toilet block sits on prime real estate on Kingston Beach. This site is also home to a community debate. Should it be redeveloped?
Look, it's been fairly controversial from day one. From Council's perspective, we saw it as a great opportunity years ago when the toilet block at Kingston Beach needs to be replaced. It's gone past its use-by date.
Council entered into a memorandum of understanding with the Kingston Beach Surf Lifesaving Club to develop on the block as long as it included new public toilet and change room facilities. This is what they came up with, a sleek-looking two-storey building with training facilities, club rooms, a patrol area, first aid room, changing rooms and a restaurant. But a report to Council recommends it be knocked back.
There are 24 reasons. The function centre, which is proposed to be a part of the Surf Lifesaving Club, is prohibited in that area as well. And of course, that's one of the areas that the community have been really upset about.
State Government MP Nick Street started up a petition backing the project.
It staggers me that before the DA was submitted, council staff couldn't have worked with their planning staff better to make sure that the proposal complied. No, I just think it's been a balls up.
The local mayor says he understands the need for the Surf Lifesaving Club to have a permanent home here at Kingston Beach. And if this proposal doesn't get through, other areas may be available.
After the decision, if it goes against them, we would like to talk with them with some ideas of what they can do going forward, because we do believe that what they do and the involvement that they have, particularly with young people, is worth fostering.
Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
To breaking news now on our earlier story, and in the last few minutes, Kingborough Council has voted to reject a Surf Lifesaving Club development on Kingston Beach. A report to Council recommended the development be blocked on several grounds, including that it would have an unreasonable impact on surrounding residents. After two of the toughest years on record, Tasmanian farmers are finally starting to get back on their feet. A new survey shows confidence is growing and our farmers have the strongest investment appetite in the country.
Wayne Johnston is one of many Tasmanian farmers keen to invest more in their business. At the start of the year, he bought the farm next door to his existing land so the family could expand into dairy.
It's allowed us to put on another employee and bring another son back to the farm.
A new study shows the TFGA president isn't the only one with an appetite to invest. The latest Rabobank Rural Confidence Survey reveals 43% of Tasmanian farmers plan to increase investment in their businesses in the next 12 months. That figure the highest in the nation.
It's been an interesting 2 years. We came out of drought 2 years ago. We went into floods this time last year. We were all very down in the mouth for the last 3 or 4 months of last year.
But those tough times appear to be almost over. Milk processors are starting to increase their farm gate prices, and farmers forced to cut back on stock during the drought are rebuilding.
We've had a really dry autumn, which has been good. Land prices are up, cattle prices are up, hopefully milk's on the way up. There's some really good confidence out there.
Along with an increase in investment, the survey also found more than a third of farmers expect to make more money next financial year compared to this year, many citing increased commodity prices as a reason for their optimism. But despite the good news, our poppy industry is still doing it tough. Poppy Growers Tasmania says while around 11,000 hectares will be harvested next season, up from 8,000 last year, global competition means crop prices are still weak. But the TFGA remains confident that if interest rates stay where they are, there won't be much holding Tassie farmers back.
We're a pretty tough lot down here.
Monica Dadson, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanian suicide prevention charity Speak Up Stay Chatty has received a caffeine boost. Banjos presented a cheque for almost $30,000 from fundraising at its stores.
We've implemented our school program and we've got some workplace and sporting programs that we've got underway and have sort of started, as well as just my presentation. So that'll certainly go to assisting those.
50 cents from every large coffee sold was donated. The state government's budget spruiking continued today with Hobart's aerial firefighting truck on show before it's replaced in 2019. Commonly known as snorkels, the current equipment dates back to the late 1970s. Costing $3.75 million, together the three replacements will be located in Hobart, Launceston and the Northwest Coast.
This availability of funds provides a timely replacement of critical equipment for fighting structure fires around Tasmania.
The current snorkel trucks will be converted into tankers by the Tasmania Fire Service. Let's take a further look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Tasplan, your local super fund. The Australian share market has posted its best daily gain for 2017, led by a strong performance by the major banks. The ASX 200 index has risen by 95 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 75.53 US cents and 67.47 euro cents.
Olympia Warriors are getting straight back to business after taking out the Lacko Seljak Cup. Coach Kenny Weston says the victory is a moment to savour, but his focus is already shifting to the next round of the NPL. New silverware and a new challenge. Olympia fended off Glenorchy Knights 4-2 in front of a big crowd at KG5 to earn a spot in the National Knockout Tournament.
I said to the boys before we went out, embrace this moment, enjoy this moment, cup finals, very few and far between.
The Warriors outclassed their Southern Championship rival early on, but Glenorchy showed plenty of spirit in the second half, with Ethan Engels putting the goals on the board.
The ideal sort of scenario would have been that we'd get a third, we'd get a fourth before they got a goal.
Glenorchy's gamble with ex-Socceroo Danny Allsop didn't bother the Warriors. The surprise inclusion had 2 shots at the net but failed to convert. As the dust settles, Kenny Weston's men return to training tomorrow in preparation for Devonport in the NPL. The side will wait until an opponent has been named later this month before focusing on the FFA Cup round of 32.
This year we had a particular focus on this trophy because it was the one that we wanted to win and get on that stage again.
Olympia previously won the Lacko Seljak Cup in 2013, but there was no FFA Cup to go on to at the time. Now the side has its well-earned chance against the nation's best. And just before I go tonight, Tasmania has returned from the Australian Trampoline Championships with 4 gold medals from the youth division. In the seniors, Jack Penny finished in 4th position in solo competition. He went on to earn a bronze medal in the team event. Tasmanians are vying for a place at the Sports World Championships in November.
Good evening, Hobart, 16 degrees. Today, Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all made it to 15. Ooze was the high after Fingal recorded the low of -2. Ooze got up to 17 degrees. A light shower over the west and far south, but mostly fine across the state. St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Campania 16. Wynyard Grove, Lyreweenie and Flinders Island 15. King Island, Lowhead and Strawn 14 degrees. There was some low cloud today over the southeast of the nation. A band of high cloud containing thunderstorm activity is over the Coral Sea with a trough trough. A prefrontal trough and a band of cloud with it is entering the Bight, followed by some cold, unstable air. The west, far south and Bass Strait had most of the cover over Tasmania today. Tomorrow, the high remains dominant, extending a ridge over the Tasman Sea. The cold front weakens as it crosses the Bight. Troughs and lows remain over the Coral Sea and Western Australia. The winds, mostly northwesterly at 15 to 25 knots, but reaching 30 knots over the south. Swells in western and southern waters at 3.5 metres. The one warning, a strong wind warning for waters between Tasman Island and Low Rocky Point. Partly cloudy and 15 for Hobart tomorrow. A possible shower for Kingston, 14 the top and 13 the high for Bothwell. A cold night, but fine. Possible shower for Launceston on 15 and Devonport, 14 degrees. Chance of a shower too for Cressy, 13 the top. Burnie, a shower or two and 15 degrees, 14 for Strawn. A possible shower on King Island. Curry, a high of 15. While for St Helens, partly cloudy, 16 the high, 15 for Swansea and Orford. On Thursday, showers over the west, far south and Bass Strait. Same forecast has been slotted in for Friday with west to northwesterly winds. Mostly sunny for the east on Saturday with a few showers for the rest of the state later over Hobart and Launceston. A shower clearing from Perth tomorrow. Sunny in Adelaide. Some cloud moving over Melbourne. A morning shower forecast for Sydney with 20 and a showery day for Brisbane. Current conditions clear in Hobart, 9 degrees, 8 in Launceston and 12 right now in Devonport. What about that Tom Johnson beside you doing the sport tonight, Joe? If he doesn't like reading the sport, I see a future for him in toothpaste commercials. But what he has done more importantly is dropped our average age down here in the studio to 42, which does seem still pretty high.
It's because you're so old. Thank you very much, Merv. Well, that's all from the team for now. We will, of course, see you with updates throughout the evening. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.